Now, I just couldn't help but add one more bonus part to this mini series. I know we talked about the 5 pillars of starting, scaling, building, and automating ultimately a remote home service business, but there's some unique features about a remote home service business that make it so appealing to me and that should make it so appealing to you, that really just set it apart from all the other similar kind of online business models that we oftentimes see and find this business model being compared to. And that is the topic of today's bonus video module, which is building enterprise value. So I'm going to break this kind of into 2 subsections here. The main one being the actual sale enterprise value, and the second one being the enterprise value of the book of business or the recurring customer base. Okay. So what you have when you are building a recurring home service business like this one is you have this book of business, these customers that come back to you every week, every 2 weeks, every month, etc., that are on your recurring schedule, and you get paid by them like clockwork. So you know that Susan is going to spend $400 every month getting a $200 clean every 2 weeks. Now, for example, with my business has about $20,000 of recurring guaranteed revenue on the books every month. That means if I run no ads, take no new phone calls, do nothing to get a single new customer, my business is still going to generate $20,000 a month because those customers are already on the schedule, getting a repeated service without even thinking about it. It's just a normal part of their expenses and their weekly or monthly life. Now, that is extremely attractive to investors or buyers of businesses because they want to buy cash flow. That business does not require work to maintain. Rather, someone can easily plug in a VA or an assistant to just handle some customer follow-up, dispatching of cleaners, etc., and maintain that book of business with no new cost of customer acquisition, with no new expenses to go out and get more leads, and no growth necessary to reap that $20,000 a month in value that is already on the books because of the happiness of the customers and their initial services that they received. Now, aside from this side, what we also have is the enterprise value of the business that you've built. This is your 5-star reviews. This is your website. This is your SEO. These are all the customers that got a one-time service from you and saved your phone number in their phone to call you back when they need another one-time service. So they may not be on your recurring books in the same way that the people getting 1 week or every 2 weeks or every 4 weeks services are, but your company, your name, your brand retains the value of those customers when they do decide to reach out to get a future service. When they do decide 3 months later, hey, I'm ready for another clean. When they do decide, oh, my friend asked about a cleaning service. Well, I had a clean from this company 2 months ago and I loved it. Now I refer them. Right? This is not something that the new buyer or the new purchaser of this business has to fight for. This is something that they purchase or inherit when they take over that business from you. They take over all the 5-star reviews that rank them at the top of the ad leaderboard. They take over all of the SEO and all of the organic website traffic and Google business profile traffic that you have built up for your business. They take over all the impressions. They take over all the happy customers, the returning customers, the referrals that you have put the time and energy into building, and therefore that can be priced into the sale value. So what is enterprise value? What does this mean? Why is this all important? You can sell your remote home service business, that book of recurring business, and all of those impressions, reviews, likes, referrals, happy customers, all have a value to a potential investor or business buyer. This is not the type of thing like a freelancing agency, like a SMMA or copywriting or growth operator, or even a physical product that you sell one time. When you no longer want to work for that business, for that brand, being yourself in your own company, and you want to sell it, the vast majority of that value is lost when you go to sell, if you can even sell it at all, because that value is intrinsic to you as the owner and as the operator. Whereas the value in this business model is not intrinsic to you and almost has nothing to do with you. Everything is attached to the brand name. Everything is attached to the logo. Everything is attached to the cleaners, the team, and the way that the business is executed, regardless of you and yourself. Particularly if you've already plugged in VAs and automated and things like that, that business is extremely attractive to cash flow investors because they can purchase a functioning book of business. They can purchase a reputation and reviews and SEO, and they can do all of that without even having to touch or inject further capital into the business. All of that comes with the business's reputation. It comes in a package deal at the time of purchase and therefore makes the business extremely valuable. Obviously, if they want to continue to acquire new customers, if they want to ramp up ad spend, et cetera, they absolutely can do all of those things, but they don't need to. They can purchase that cash flowing book of business and know that with a reasonable expectation, they will be able to generate a large percentage of the business that you generated when you were running that business, because that business is attached to the brand, to the service provider, and to the experience that they have working with your company, not to you as an individual, making it way easier to sell and way more valuable to a potential investor. So think about the fact that not only as you put time into building up how much money are we going to make in May, in June, in July, in August, not only do you get that value when you make it the first time, and then not only do you get all the value when you make it the second time and third time as these customers come back or leave reviews or refer or start a recurring service, but you can even make it a third time when you go to exit this business. It is something that you can sell, and that book of business will have a lot of value. That brand will have a lot of value, and that enterprise value is built just in the process of running your business. There's nothing special that you have to do. There's no extra steps, no added difficulty. Rather, just you operating your business builds that business's enterprise value and makes it more and more attractive to an investor or a potential business buyer because of what you have done throughout the life of the business that paid you once, paid you twice, and then can pay you a third time when you go to exit the business. And a cash flow investor is going to be chomping at the bits to buy up a company that is well run, well oiled, automated, and has a significant amount of monthly cash flow based on the branding and based on the recurring book of business. So I know this isn't part of the original 5 pillars, but rather it is a byproduct of the 5 pillars. But I think it is important enough to include within this mini series and to be a standalone video, because people don't understand how much the enterprise value of a business is important and how much building that enterprise value is very difficult for other business models, but happens almost by accident when you are running and operating a business model like a remote home service or drop servicing business. So if you have been on the fence about starting a business and you think, well, what does the long term look like? What if I don't want to run the business forever? What if this isn't going to be my life's work or something I want to do? If automating it isn't good enough for you and hiring out the work isn't good enough for you, you can always sell the business. And even if automating it is good enough, you can still sell it, and selling an automated business is even more valuable than selling one that isn't. So go through those 5 pillars in order, get your business dialed in, and that value will be so apparent to an investor when it comes time for you to sell and exit that business.